Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet Earth. Once again, we welcome you to our live and hopefully interactive session this very day, this very evening of the 23rd of February in the year of our Most High Elohim, 2021. The time now is 12 minutes past 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra, and the same number of minutes past the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. That is to notify everyone who is listening that this is a live presentation, not a replay. How do you know it is a live recording? Is because of the time. Anytime we start our program, we remind you of the time. Because, of course, we do repeat most of our programs unedited. So if you do listen to this program later on, if the time where you are is not 12 minutes past the top of the hour, then you know that you are listening to a repeat broadcast. I welcome each and every one of you, regardless of where you are. As I welcome you, please allow me to also urge you to welcome all those who are around you. We are live and we are direct, and the entirety of humanity is paying attention to what we are doing. And this very evening, of course, it gladdens my heart that a lot of people are now repenting from their old ways. They have now come to embrace the truth, which IPOB have for long represented. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to each and every one of you. Because unlike any other, this very broadcast simulcast on almost 5 platforms. We are on FM, we are on satellite, we are on social media, be it Facebook, we are also on Twitter, we are on Radio Biafra Community app, we are also on Radio Biafra app. Some may want to listen via tuning, Sweet Radio, just name it, we are everywhere. And that is why the propagation of this very gospel is unstoppable. It doesn't matter what the enemies do. It doesn't matter what they will continue to do. We remain resolute. We remain unflappable. We remain determined. We remain unbreakable. And that is why we do not retreat nor surrender. That is why today the philosophy of IPOB, this very ideology we have preached for years, is now holding sway right across the length and breadth of the damnable zoological republic. As always, my name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, the director of Radio Biafra and Biafra Television, and by the very special grace of the Most High Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. I did promise you that I'll broadcast every 2 days because there is need for people that inhabit that damnable zoological republic to understand that their lives are in peril. And together we are going to do whatever it will take to ensure that we save as many souls as possible. That is why we are here, and that is why we ceaselessly continue to preach this very gospel of redemption. But first of all, we must pray before I bring to you what we have in store for you this very day. And I will pray, of course, in the language of heaven. The also says Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile anya na-efe na agọzi aha nsọ ya mgbe niile. Chineke na nke ndị gboo, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ mmalite n'ụsọtụ. Onye anyị ji eme ọnụ, onye anyị ji anya isi, anyị enweghị ikike ọ bụla eze ebube. Ọ bụ naanị gị ka anyị ji eme ọnụ. N'ihi na ewezuga gị, ama ndị na-achịwa anyị ọchị. Mana ọ bụ site n'ebere gị na amara gị, ịhụnanya gị, mmeso ọma gị mara ji wee nọdụ were n'ụbọchị nke taa. Ma wee na-arịọ gị ndezi ebere ngọzi ka i wee mee ngwa ngwa ka ị bịa zọpụta ndị gị, ka ị bịa napụta ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra n'aka ndị iro. Ka ijikwa otu aka eze ebube dị ngọzi wee zọpụta ndị Yoruba Oduduwa, dịkwa ka i wee zọpụta ndị Middle Belt. Onye nwe m, nke kachasị nke biko nye anyị amamihe na ezi echiche, nye anyị ezi nghọta, nye anyị ezi ịhụnanya mmekọta nwanne na nwanne, ozi nna dị ngọzi. Bịakwa eze ebube onye ebere, ka isi wee tinye ihere n'etiti ndị iro anyị n'ụbọchị nke taa, ha wee na-eri anụ onwe ha, akasị ha wee baa ha ọnụ. Bịakwa ka i wee si etu eze ebube dị ngọzi Jackie with this Asia all Luaka Hanine. Good get home Hakado, each will make it home upon the Biafra. Biafra were to attend this indeed to us. Martino Baran Etitihan. Bundena Bari were not a boomer. Biafra Eze Bubeden Gozi. Kiwe to attend has on John Kahana Gang. Go on the day to my hope was that the man the Janja with the name, man the Caliphate, the Bonacho with the Consusu. Kigana have a putin. Malepanyo Wanya Bondana Chiru, Bumore, Bonde Biafra, IPOB, no one in. Anyo Wanye, Bundiwe, Ezi Honanya, Nezim Masi, Ebe Ntuziaki Wugino. Anyo Wanye. Bundim Benine, Naja Hansorema, Nasi Kani Bulegelu Chineken. Kani Bulegelu Akaka. Kani Bulegelu Onobonanyanachi. Malenu Nani Boom Obone. Anyamego, Kobodekwen Subuzu, Siwe. Anyamego, Cabritani Siwe, Bondena Hihachanuku. Anya moge ko kandino anyi mana obo na anaghị bonye na-edu anya ezi nna dị ebere marụ mgbe ebighị ebi n'ihi na ọ bụ n'ime gị ka anyị gbabaworo nna nke igwe were na-arịọ nchekwa gị n'ihi na ọ bụ na anaghị bonye enyemaka ụmụ Biafra ọ bụ na anaghị bonye nzọpụta ọ bụ na anaghị ka a na-etu Elohim Adonai El Shaddai Chukwu kika bịa mapụrụ m ihe niile biko nụ bịa ka ime ọsọsọ wee napụta ụmụ gị na abụ ọjọọ nke Britain kebara ha n'ime ya ka ọ ga-abụ n'ikpete mazụ na Biafra ga-abịa eluigwe n'ụwa ga-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị n'ime ndụ ụmụ gị anyị ga-asị na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ Chineke nna bụ na-ekwesị ntụkwasị obi kwere n'ihi Biafra ụwa niile ga-etigheta azụ wee ma na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-eme amara otuto na nsọpụrụ na ịja mmadụ dịrị sọsọ aha nsọ gị onye kere ihe niile kere eke mana onye kere ya ugbu a ma ruo mgbe niile ebighị ebi ka anyị na-arịọ gị ise we must pray in the language of heaven because that is the same language that the angels are using when they bow before the throne of the Almighty in heaven. We are going to preach this gospel today. As you may have noticed, my voice is very calm. I want you to get your pen and paper ready. Abandon every vestige of greed, envy, and jealousy. That's your I too know brain. I know back once again. They're doing all they can to disrupt us, to stop us from spreading this very gospel of redemption. But we are back here live and direct once again, and I believe that all our platforms are working. There are those that have taken it upon themselves to inform me each time that there is a wobble. I need to know that all our systems are working very well. I want to know that all our systems are fully operational. Very, very important, please. Our enemies will try all they can to distract us. Please, I do need confirmation that all our systems, that our output from here is working very well. That is what I want to know, please. Very, very critical, please, that I get this confirmation. Is anybody able to confirm with me? Even if yes, we are okay. We are okay. Somebody's saying we are okay. I can see most of the comments. I think it's on Facebook. And Nnamdi is listening to us on Twitter via my Twitter handle at Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, I don't know if they have fixed it. We have fixed it, of course, here. Yes, they can now hear me. It is now working. Thank you very much. NDBC, thank you very much. All of you. Donatus Unkem, thank you very, very much. Chieme Okoro said, yes, that it is now working. It is now working. So we are live and we are direct. Once again, it is very clear. And the whole world. They don't want me to preach this gospel because they know what it contains. I call it the end of discussion. After this very program this evening, people will begin to have a more deeper appreciation of the enormity of the task that is before us and what we are doing to rectify the uselessness that Nigeria has become. We must preach. First of all, this very evening, morning, afternoon, or night, depending on where you are, there is no country, nation, or geopolitical space on this earth where a black man is in control of his life, talk less of his destiny. I want you to write this thing I'm saying down, please. Very, very critical. You write it down, because what we are going to do, as always, is to try to build a very necessary preamble, lay the foundation upon which we are going to rest our lecture this very evening, this very gospel from heaven. I repeat, and I'm saying there is no country or nation on this very earth where a black man is in control of his life, talk less of his destiny. I know some of you may mention Barack Obama, that he was the president of the USA, but during Obama's reign in the USA, black people were more disadvantaged than at any time in U.S. history. Had Obama's reign in America, or should I say his presidency, been a success, you wouldn't have issues like Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter because racist, white police people in America were slaughtering blacks at will. That is after a black man had become the president of the United States of America. Why I'm saying that is for you to grasp the essence of the point that I'm trying to make. That there is no country, nation, or geopolitical space on this very earth where a black man is in control of his life. And I'll bring that to the zoo very, very shortly. Sometimes I wonder if God created us, or God made we black people and handed us over as slaves and farm animals to serve other races. That is why anywhere you go around the world, once you are black, you are very close to the dustbin. Do you know they have a caste system in India? Do you know the lowest caste in India are black people? Do you know in Sri Lanka they have a caste system? Do you know that the lowest caste of people, they are black people? Do you know that black people are also suffering in Papua New Guinea? Do you know that they are at the bottom of the pile? I am saying all these things so you understand why these criminals, these vultures, these workers of iniquity are all against Biafra. A simple point I'm trying to make. Because when people are down, you need a force, you need a movement, you need a figure, you need a people to raise everybody up. When Asia was down, it fell upon Japan to lift the whole of Asia. When the Western world was down, it took the grit and the might of the United States of America to grind through the Second World War and still be able to rebuild Europe. Europe was rebuilt with money from the United States of America. Nobody's doubting that. At every period in history, you have always needed a race or a people to stand up and say, or to say enough is enough. It has fallen upon our generation, this very generation of IPOB, and we are saying enough is enough. And of course, and very predictably, we are encountering stiff opposition because the devil doesn't want Biafra to come. The devil doesn't want Biafra to come because the devil enjoys it because black lives do not matter. Because all over the world, there is no place, there is no country where a black man is in control, or black people for that matter, man and woman, even black dog is in control of their lives. I want you to understand that challenging this very prevailing orthodoxy is the reason why we have so many people within and without against this very promise of God. The same thing happened to Israel. Nobody wanted the Jews to have their own homeland. Nobody wanted them to have it. even before time, even to leave Egypt and go. They were complaining of exactly the same thing happening in the zoo, because I don't know, for some inexplicable reason, I'm in a spiritual mood this very week. For some reason, the same thing that happened to Israelites are happening to us. If you go to the northern part of the zoological republic, they're complaining. They are everywhere. These Easterners, these Biafrans, these Igbo people, they're everywhere. They own the shops, the businesses, and everything. That is envy and jealousy. We want them to go. We don't want them in our land. The same thing that Pharaoh said. We don't want Israelites in our land. But to allow the Israelites to go was a problem. There's something happening in Nigeria. You are complaining every blessed day, and we are saying allow us to go, and you're saying no. The same biblical scenario being played out in a contraption created by man in Africa in the 21st century. How abominable can that be? I want people to listen very carefully. I am not going to be very fast. I want you to absorb all that I have to say this very day. It's very, very critical you do so. A black person has no pride. The reason why I am throwing this line this evening is because I want you to understand the genesis of your problem. Black people do not have any shame. They have no pride. They have no class. They have no sense of decency. Why am I saying this? I know some people are grumbling already, saying, oh, why he's insulting black people? No, I'm not insulting you. I want you to be able to reason. I want you to reason very, very clearly, please. Do you know why I say you have no shame, black people? If you had any shame at all, there is no way any white man can travel up to 4,000 miles and come to your land and take away your name and give you his own name. Do you want me to repeat what I said? Let me tell you why black people are suffering, why we are the lowest of the low, why anywhere we are in the world, people treat us as if we're trash, basically. It's because we have no regard for ourselves. We have no pride. We have no honor. We have no dignity. Can you tell me why any sensible black person, any sensible human being would call himself a Nigerian? Can somebody please explain that to me? Did you create Nigeria? The answer is no. And now, the other part of the coin is, can you go, the person that came and created Nigeria, can you go to his village and create, let's say, Oduduwa or Hausa in that place? The answer is no. They came to our land. They took away the name Igbocha. They named it Port Harcourt. Some of you are shouting for every day, Port Harcourt, Port Harcourt. And I'm asking you, look at yourselves and what you're doing. Do you think you have any shame in you at all? Because if you had any shame, if you had any honor, you would have done at least what the Indians did. They changed all the names back to what they were before the white man came. And do you think you can go to Liverpool and rename that very beautiful city of Liverpool into anything else from Africa? Do you think the people of Liverpool will even listen to you? They will see you as a madman. Now I'm asking you, why should we in Africa accept it? Somebody will travel for thousands of miles, come into your land and tell you that your ancestors, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your great-great-great-grandfather, that they had no history. In one stroke of the pen, your life all of a sudden started in 1960. In 1960, your essence as a human being started. Tell me any sensible country in the world where the president is older than the country itself. And then the sensible question that any right-thinking human being should ask is this: what was my history before the creation of this thing you now say is my history? Simple research we do not do. Because had black people been engaged in very rigorous research, they would have a sense of pride and dignity. Even Native American Indians, they have dignity and pride. Europeans wanted to convert them to slaves, to use them in their farms. And the Indians, the native Indians in America said no. You know what they used to do? When the white man turns his back, the Indian will kill him. He may die in the process, he doesn't care. He would kill him. That way they realized that enslaving Indians or turning them into farm animals is not possible. And they went to Africa. In Africa, when they came, Africans only didn't serve them. Africans were willing to sell their relatives in order to please the white man. Because we have no shame and we have no pride. Why am I saying all of these things? Look at the case of Nigeria today. Somebody will come out and say that we are going to kill a particular set of people because they do not believe in what a white man created in Africa. In essence, that is what Lai Mohammed and the bandit sheikh is saying. The reason why we would not negotiate with IPOB is because they do not recognize the legitimacy of Nigeria to exist. Without looking at the reason why. That is the thing about black people. They never look at the reason. Nobody has ever bothered to sit down and say, why is IPOB insisting that things cannot continue the way they are? Of course, I'm very happy that some of them have now come around. They're beginning to reason like human beings. They are now beginning to reason like human beings. I don't know why a black man has no pride. If you have a pride in you as a black person, you cannot open your mouth and call you Gwacha Port Harcourt. You cannot open your mouth and say Nigeria is my country. It shows you do not value yourself. You don't even trust yourself. You don't even trust your ancestors. You don't even trust God that made you the way you are. You have no shame inside you. That is why white people can come to Africa and draw our boundaries for us. Give us names they want us to bear. Even those of you who are in Christendom, when during baptism, you see how clever they are. During baptism, they tell you to throw away your old name. You shouldn't answer Angoreka. Don't answer Ifeinwe. Don't answer Chibuzo. It's not good. Why don't you answer Raphael or answer Isabella? That has no meaning. I want to point out instances as to why people out of ignorance and foolishness defend one Nigeria. Anybody defending one Nigeria is an ignorant fool. He's a fool and is going to remain a fool forever. It means you are daft, you're hopeless, and you're very stupid. You have no brain. Had Nigeria been created by people coming together, as most people had campaigned for or agitated for many years ago, but lacked the balls to execute it. Had the likes of Shoyinka and Tinubu insisted that what we want is a Sol and Abakoba, of course, sovereign national conference. No matter what the Janjaweed is doing, no matter what Britain is doing, you say no, we want sovereign national conference, and then after that a referendum. But today you have pride. People wonder why we are the way we are. We are the way we are because Biafra was the first African country, second African country to taste freedom, genuine freedom, not flag independence, not neo-colonialism, no, genuine freedom for 3 years. The children they gave birth to is carrying on from where their father stopped. Because you know why? We are Biafrans, and in us there is a lot of pride. A lot of pride. I have told this story so many times, and I'm sure even some people may be bored of hearing it, but I will say it once again. One of the things that formed my outlook on life was Alex Haley's book I read, Roots. I think I was a 17-year-old when I read Roots. I read Roots. And a very brilliant book, I must say. There's an adaptation of it. I think it's a movie now as well. So some of you who are not taken to reading very voluminous text, you can go and avail yourself of the cinematic interpretation of that very brilliant book. Roots. R-O-O-T. Roots. R-O-O-T-S. Alex Haley. In that very book, that was why when anytime or the 2 previous occasions I went to America. I had to go to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. From there, I drove, or somebody drove me. Uche drove me for, what's his name? What's his name again? I've forgotten his name. I don't know if it's old age that is coming. I keep forgetting things these days. I've forgotten his name, but it will come to me. He drove me for 5 hours. He's based there in Atlanta. We went to a place called Savannah. Because when I got into Georgia, you see, I said to them that I want to go and see that very place that an Igbo man said he will not be a slave to a white man. I went there and I prayed. And that very place is called Savannah. And the woman that has the house, that her garden is actually on the very spot at the bank of this very creek where they drowned themselves. She was enthralled. She said, yeah, people come around here to have a look. We were there to pray. You see, at that very spot was when white people realized who we are. That these people are a very, very proud race and very stubborn. You see, they brought them all the way from Onitsha. In fact, basically in Obaro, they took them from Obaro and traveled all the way to US, men, women, and children. And when they inquired what they are there for, why they bound them in chains and brought them all the way to America, the white man said they are going to be sold as slaves to work in the farm to become somebody else's property. And they said, instead of me to become a fellow human being's property, I would rather die. Do you know the reason why this part of black history is not given due prominence? It's because it will teach our children who we are, that we are a very proud race. That is why people must understand, when they look at Biafra IPOB agitation, they must understand where we are coming from. If you are another race, you may be comfortable with being a slave. That is your business. But where we come from, in the land, the original land of the free, where God Almighty in heaven is the king. Biafra was a kingdom where only God in heaven is the king. That all men are born equal before God and fellow men. We gave the world democracy. Biafra gave the world democracy before the Greeks came. Don't take it from me, take it from the white people teaching it in the universities. In Argentina, that is what they teach. It's a fact. That is why they don't want Biafra to come. Because you are the light of the black race. That is why Janjaweed can't understand us, because their reasoning is too low and is too poor. They know nothing. They know absolutely nothing. They don't know. When you see us agitate for Biafra, you kill us, you don't know what is driving us. Do you think we are doing this thing out of our own? What we are doing is of the spirit. Unless you are in the spirit, you can't understand it. If you're a zoo animal, you cannot understand the Biafra. You can never do it. Never in your life. You are in a country where somebody created for you. 1960, Nigeria won independence. In your life started in 1960. And every day you wake up as a grown-up person, lettered and educated, you don't ask yourself, what is the history of my grandfather? You don't ask. Because you are black. And every nonsense that comes to you, you accept. Ask yourself why we go on protest. You kill us, we go on protest. You kill us, we keep going. You kill us, we keep going. Have you ever wondered why? Do you think that what we are doing, that we even know what we are doing? No, we don't. What is driving us? What is driving our essence is something beyond the comprehension of a black person in Africa. You can't understand it. That is why Biafra is an enigma. Only the intelligent can. Only the intelligent who are in the spirit can. And because Biafra is down, that is why black people are suffering all over the world. And like do your envy all you like. Be jealous. So unless Biafra is free, you can never be free. All of you together. So it is in the best interest of everybody to join hands together that we may liberate ourselves. Now let me ask you this very simple question. All their years of restructuring debate, all their years of sovereign national conference, all their years of talking for constitutional change, has anything happened? No. Ask yourself, why is it now that everybody is talking about change, that something must give? Had IPOB crawled back into its shell at the height of the persecution, do you think that we would have given people the courage to say what they're saying today? People are saying what they are saying because they know that the zoo was unable to suppress IPOB. Anybody talking anywhere in Nigeria is because of IPOB. Anybody anywhere standing up and shouting, it is because of IPOB. Do you know why? Because that's how God intended it. You see that race of people from the east, from Igodo, all the way to Amazonia. People of the east. You see that very little place that Islam could not come into. You see that very place? Do you know that it was done for a purpose? Do you know that the time Islam was making it to the west coast of Africa, every country in West Africa, Islam, Quran dipped, or they dipped Quran in the Atlantic? Only the east. Have you, people, I don't know, have you ever sat down to ask yourself why there is Islam everywhere else, but not in the east? Because you don't know. You see, because Elohim never wanted it. God never wanted it. The reason why God allowed white man to bring his New Testament into our land is because he wanted to teach us a lesson. We are doing very horrible things at our temple in Arochukwu. Very horrible things. And God was upset. The same thing that happened to the temple in Jerusalem was what happened to us. But after 2,000 years, Israel rediscovered itself. And when Israel was about to be established, they said, no, don't go into armed struggle. Don't do this. Keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. And a very brave man, Menachem Begin, of Likud Party, the founder of Likud Party in Israel, Menachem Begin, I think at one time was also the head of Mossad, was the prime minister. Courageous and brave man, loved by God and men, only hated by the enemies of God. He said, to hell with everybody. Do you know that it was Britain that was manning, they gave them what is called the Palestine Mandate, because by then they shared the whole world among themselves. They divided everything, all the colonial powers, they shared the world amongst themselves. Britain also got Israel. The same way Britain got the zoo with Biafrans in it, their own was Palestine, the Holy Land of Israel. And they asked Britain to leave, that the children of God, that God said the time has come for his children to return. Britain said no. Go and read your history books. Britain said no, they're not going anywhere. Do you know what Menachem Begin did? They used bomb and dynamite to blow the British away from the land of Israel. And in the end, Israel was restored. That is the reason why I love the Bible so much. When they say that the kingdom of God suffered violence, and only the violent can take it, and with force. If you study the history of Israel, it's very clear. When Israel was begging, oh, you're killing, you know what that thing we used to do? You're killing us here. Nobody will listen. They were slaughtering Jews all over the world, slaughtering them for nearly 2,000 years. Nobody did anything. Until one day, European Jews said, you know, they are going to kill us anyway. So we might as well put our life to a very good use while we still have it. We are going to have a state of Israel. And it happened. People said it wouldn't happen, but it happened. The same way we are going to have Biafra. It doesn't matter what you say. We have the lives to commit into it. And in the end it will come. Because nobody can come from a place called Nigeria. Only if you are an animal only if you are a compound fool, only if you are a degenerate idiot, only if you don't have any brain. I'll keep asking you, okay, let us take your family now, for example. All of us will have our own homes, is that not correct? You have your wife, you have your children, and all the rest of it. And maybe some of you, as you're listening to this very broadcast this evening, you're with your family and you're eating and dining. Is that correct? Oh, how about if I walk into where you're eating now? It doesn't matter where it is. Let's say I walk into a family at Ijebode this evening and say I am a Biafran. And by the way, I want you to change your name. This night, the name of this village. No, in fact, Ijebode, I want you to change it. And I want you to call it Ijebode New Mbise. Are you following? What will you do to me? Even Janjaweed, if I were to go to Sokoto, doesn't belong to them. And I'm very happy today. There's a clip I will play, not audio I will play for you to hear. And I'm sure our media will go and get it and spread it everywhere. When Mailafia was talking, Dr. Mailafia was talking on channels, that's Janjaweed TV station. He is, apart from we in IPOB, he is the only person I've heard use the word, the Habe Hausers. Today, I knew that the man, he reads his books, he's intelligent. When I mentioned the Habe monarchy, some of you don't know what it means. When I mentioned the Hausa, their name was the Habe, H-A-B-E, the Habe monarchies of the Hausa kingdoms. None of you knew what I was talking about. But today, my Lafia, I heard him say it. I go, to be honest, we are learned. I'm being honest with you. But we shall get to that later. We must change where we reason, black people. And if you like it or not. As I warned you, as I explained to you a few days ago. As I explained to you people a few days ago. If you ask Angela Merkel, when they were exasperated with the presidency of Trump because they didn't understand him, they will say, these are European ministers. Oh, listen carefully to how white. Now I understand why white people, they have so much, they make so much progress. A white person, I heard Angela Merkel, the leader of the strongest nation in Europe, Germany. By none, Germany is the strongest nation in Europe. Do you know what she was saying? Oh, we want President Trump to show leadership. He is the leader of the free world. This is the German prime minister saying that another head of state is the leader of the free world because they understand that if America dies today or is suffering, they know they are all sunk. Do you think an African head of state will do that? You have jazz. Never. Pride and envy won't let them. Jealousy and greed can't allow them. That is why they don't want to give Biafrans credit. They know who we are. They know, as I said to them, how many hours did your protest last at Lekki? Not up to 5 minutes. They vacuum, swept all of you inside Black Maria, and the protest is over. Because I did not bring out IPOB. I did not bring out Biafrans in Lagos. Had I given the order, come out for protest, by today, the protest will still be on. It is nobody's fault. That is how God made us. It is not, I am not bigoted. It is not about ethnic jingoism. It is not about a sense of racism. That is all rubbish. But the creation as we know it started in my land. Creation, God Almighty in heaven, chose Biafra land as the center of this very earth. 0 longitude and 0 latitude. Go and check your geography textbooks. 0 latitude and 0 longitude, where sunlight meets darkness. The center of this very earth is in Biafra land. That is why Britain created Greenwich Mean Time, moved it 1 hour to the left. Who doesn't know that? That is why they're afraid of us. That is why they cannot get any conviction in any court in the world. That is why they're even afraid of us, of trying us in their own courts. That is the reason why we are as formidable as we are. But the devil will try. The prince will try. As they did against the emergence of the glorious state of Israel. They will try, but they will fail in the end. Because we represent the light. Do you know that darkness has no power? You see darkness. You see, darkness has nothing feeding it. I want you to understand and relate this very analogy to the zoo called Nigeria. You see darkness, or actually darkness. You know when NEPA takes light, there is darkness everywhere. That darkness has no power. Darkness is only acting because there is no light. Once light comes, it disappears. And it can never come. As long as that light is on, darkness will never come close. Never, ever, ever. It can never come close. Have you do a simple experiment? Because you see, darkness, you know, when you're going out at night and there is no light, there is darkness everywhere, is because there is darkness in nature. Nothing is fueling it. There is no generator generating darkness. No, it's there, just there. Like Lucifer. Once, you see, for you to defeat darkness, you need to generate electricity or light. And to generate light takes energy. You must do something. You can't keep quiet. You must do something. If you don't do something, you continue to live in darkness. So that time you put the battery inside your torch and you on the torch. What happens? Darkness along that line flees. It can never come as long as your light is on. As long as your light bulb is on, there is no way darkness can come. But darkness, it doesn't cause darkness anything. Like the Fulani Janjaweed, it doesn't cause them anything to destroy. But to overpower them, you must come together. There must be synergy. There must be energy. There must be momentum. You must have that thrust. By thrust, I mean T-H-R-U-S-T, not T-R-U-S-T. Now you understand me, don't you? Now you understand me, don't you? I insult black people because I want them to develop some sense. Begging them doesn't work. This is black. But how can you explain to somebody who is a PhD holder, who is a professor who will open his mouth and call his land Port Harcourt? You're a professor of maybe nuclear science. That means you have no shame and you have no pride. We all mask our collective impotence. You know, blacks are very impotent. Especially when you go onto Facebook and see the wish. When we are arguing about separation and freedom, many years ago, some idiots are talking rubbish. Nigeria, one Nigeria, patriotic Nigerian. Look at the idiot. Patriotic who? You mean patriotic product of Frederick Lugard? Nobody is a Nigerian. You dimwits, you morons. No human being is a Nigerian. That is how daft you people are. The sooner you search for salvation under your ethnic identity or nationality, the better for you. Shameless people. Who is a Nigerian? Let me ask you. Who? Is it the one from Mali with AK-47 somewhere in Mina, raping and killing people? People without a collection of people without honor or shame. God have mercy on your ignorance and the wretchedness of it. We love to mask our collective impotence by seeking solace in English language. That's most of us don't even know. You see one idiot writing writing grammar. Ask him to explain that grammar. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's writing. But because the word sounds sweet, just like when we learned the phrase, circumstances beyond my control. Anything you ask somebody who says circumstances beyond my control, he doesn't know that it sounds nice in the ear. So you say circumstances beyond, even out of context they use it. That is what happens to all these idiotic intellectual grammarians on Facebook writing rubbish. Now listen. Imagine how powerless we have been for years to make minor, what I would even call insignificant change like ordinary restructuring. Ask yourself this question. What would it cost Fulani to restructure Nigeria? Nothing. No, it doesn't. Nothing. Those championing restructuring did not say let's break Nigeria. No. They said let's make things better. Somebody somewhere said no. Go through your senators. Because they know they have the numerical strength to frustrate whatever motion or bill that you have on the floor of both the House of Reps and of the Senate. And somebody who is so blatantly disadvantaged will rise up in the morning and tell you he's a proud Nigerian. I want to demolish these intellectual Lilliputians. Let me put it that way. They are minions. They are nothing. They hide under grammar. They spend 4 days. They go to the dictionary, cramming every rubbish. They come and they write junk because they are inferior. Because you see, an Englishman speaks English, and they are so inferior that you have to write. You want to aspire to write like an Englishman, so you can perhaps acquire some of the aura of an English person, so that your peers can respect you. But you are making an absolutely idiotic fool of yourself. As most of you may know, I have been to many countries around the world. There are people who write and speak their language with every pride. Every pride! You come and you speak, they say, oh, you speak English? You say, yeah, okay. Why don't you learn my language? Oh dear. Simple change, something as minor as let us go back to the regions that was working. Fulani said no. Only one group, and they're a minority. A bunch of Janjak, a minority. They are not up to 20 million. They're not up to 20 million. It's so ridiculous. I thank God that the houses have woken up after many years. Sometimes, if you're IPOB, you pat yourself on the back. You have changed so much. I'm telling you this. You have changed the thinking and the reasoning capacity of most people in that damnable zoological republic. And we must continue. We're going to stop. Imagine how are you hearing of sovereign national conference anymore? That one is dead, though. Simple, minor, even insignificant change like restructuring the political landscape. They said no. Because you're a black man, you don't have the power to do anything. This UG. Something that should help move a country forward. Some idiots in the same country. On the contrary, some of the so-called agitators for restructuring, you know what they're waiting for? They're waiting for Britain to say something. Not to say, but to do something. They want Britain to pick up the phone, the Prime Minister of Britain, US President, then call whoever is in Asorok and say, now it's time for restructuring. And do you know where they got that nonsense from? It was during Abacha's time. None of you were able to remove Abacha. He was a very deadly dictator, a very brutal one for that matter. Abacha was killing left, right, and center. Yet in Kanu, there is Sani Abacha Stadium. Somebody who is acknowledged to be a mass murderer. The same thing they did with the regime, the murderous regime of Abacha, is what they are doing with Fulani headsmen, Mietiala, killers and murderers. They always defend their own. And somebody was, I remember in those days, they said their zoo national team, Green Eagles, were going to play a Super Eagle. I don't know what eagle they are now. Or maybe Dark Eagle or White Eagle, I don't know. That they were going to play a football match in Kanu at a place called Sani Abacha Stadium. And I remember the white commentator saying, come on, Sani Abacha Stadium? Was that not the dictator? Hey, Shem left everybody and was doing me. He had a happen now, like them. Left everybody and was holding me. Now you understand it, don't you? The same way they are defending. Is it not Buhari, the dead one, or the real Buhari? When that dead Buhari was, do you remember when Buhari said that Abacha did not loot any money? Have you all forgotten? One Nigerians. You see the way you reason? That is why I feel sorry for all of you. You one Nigerians. Your stupidity cannot be weighed on a scale. Your idiocy is legendary. I'm telling you. Sani Abacha Stadium. And they said Abacha did not steal anything. Hiding under English. It's common restructuring you cannot do. Ordinary, everybody agrees it may help. You cannot do it because you're waiting for a white EU, white America, white Canada, white everywhere to do it for you. Because it was America that killed Abacha, not you. You are impotent and you're powerless. And it wasn't Africans that got independence for Africa. It was the United States of America warning Britain and the whole of Europe to get away from Africa. That was what happened right after the Second World War. Anybody telling you that they fought and they got their flag independence is a liar and is a deceiver. Do you understand? I think it was Harry Truman that said to Europe, oh, enough of that rubbish, that your useless colony you have in Africa. Get out! And they went out. The same thing happened during the Suez Canal crisis. Some of you may not know because you may be too young or you are ahistorical because you do not read books. There was a very brave, young military officer in Egypt called Gamal Abdel Nasser. And he killed, what's his name again? He killed the very moderate Egyptian prime minister, or they said he was killed by the, what's it called, Islamic Brotherhood. He assumed power. Britain left Britain. They want to come to Africa to be connected to toll gates, checkpoints. They set up checkpoints as Suez because it's far more easier, like the Panama Canal, far more easier for ships to use the Mediterranean Sea to cross through the Suez Canal into the Arabian Gulf. Is it a Gulf of Eden or is it Arabian Gulf? One of the two. The Arabian Gulf. As they call it, Gulf of Eden. Because that way the ships, rather than going through South Africa, the Cape of Good Hope, and coming back up again via the Indian Ocean, a very long journey, you cut that journey short by taking a shortcut. Britain built a toll gate in Africa. When NASA came in, NASA said, you cannot come here and be collecting money, tax on my father's land. You have to go. Britain said no. NASA took it over by force. I think it was Prime Minister Eden in England, in Britain, that sent British expeditionary force to go and retake Suez Canal that doesn't belong to Britain by force. The Suez Canal Company. They went into Suez Canal after 2 or 3 days. Eden got a phone call from the US president in no uncertain terms, told him to get away from there, it's not yours. That was how Britain withdrew. Because Britain listened to USA. Because USA take care of British interests as well. Now, do you understand how they play this politics? Do you understand it? In your own land, you cannot even bring about a simple change. Ordinary restructuring, not even freedom. Ordinary restructuring you cannot do. Always blowing useless, senseless grammar that has no meaning. After blowing grammar, there's no light. No hospital, no good roads. After blowing grammar and putting on tie in the middle of the afternoon, also speaking grammar all the time, and nothing is happening. Intellectuals everywhere. We mask our impotence by seeking solace in English language we don't even understand, most of us. Are always waiting for white people. We are not going to wait anymore. We are better off dead now. Okay, what are we doing with life? This stupid, useless life. A life where somebody can come from Mali with AK-47 and go to Zombe and decide to rape a grandmother. After raping the grandmother, you say they are misunderstood. You misunderstood them. They are my brothers. According to Sheikh Gumi, is that the type of country you want me to be in? Are you mad? Are you sure you're well? Are you sure you are well? Are you sure you are well? Intellectuals everywhere. But now they have come back to that. Most of them have come back to their senses. We need to get off our lazy asses to make lives better for ourselves by seeking freedom for everybody. I said mass overdose of freedom. Freedom is like vitamin C. In actual fact, it has no overdose. More freedom is better for everybody. And that is the freedom that we are seeking for everybody. For every dick, every tongue, everybody must be free. Everybody must be free. They caged you in the zoo, treating you like animal, the same way they treated your fathers, they're treating you, and you take it. All you do is you complain, you mourn, and you go back and you sleep. Not in IPOB, we don't do that rubbish. Look at how successive governments in Nigeria adopted what I call the Pauperization. I want to get it to so people can understand. You know, when you turn somebody into a pauper, into a very poor, wretched soul, I call it the pauperization philosophy of the Fulani Janjaweed. You know what they do in their feudal system? They become wealthy by impoverishing everybody else. You have to be poor. Only their children will go to school. Only them will have houses in Dubai. The ordinary Hausa man on the street is doing Babiala with no hope for his children. But even Fulanis are suffering. It's only the feudal laws. They have educated, semi-literate feudal lords of the Fulani. They brought him that mentality. Some of you don't know why you don't have light in Nigeria. Sometimes I look at it and I laugh. A country that has coal, abundance of it, you have wall-to-wall sunshine every blessed day. You have tidal waves along the coastal lines. You have dams. You built dams, yes? You have gas. Let me repeat. You can generate electricity through thermal, which is coal, through gas, through wind, through waves, sea waves, through hydroelectricity. All these things are in abundance. Some of you go to China, you see, they even make fake solar panels, and it works. A country of 200 million people cannot even utilize Kainji Dam that they built. A country of 200 million people they bring out gas from the ground. They ship this gas to Europe, to South America, to Asia. Those people, they have 24 hours electricity from the same gas that you're shipping from Ohaji. But people on Ohaji don't have any light. I don't know if I'm making sense. If people can understand what I'm saying. It's a lecture. People in faraway Japan that has nothing, they have light. People in Enugu that has coal under them, as you're walking in Enugu, it's all coal under you. They have no electricity. Do you see how stupid black people are? Sometimes, to be honest, if you sit down and begin to ponder how useless black people are, you will go outside and you commit suicide. I'm telling you the truth. It's a simple question. How come I produce crude oil from no, you don't produce. God gave us crude oil. You export the crude oil in one barrel that contains everything from kerosene to paraffin to engine oil to plastic, everything. And then you only import petrol that you use to drive your car and diesel. Whereas you have refineries in your country. Let me be very honest. It's not pulverization. Pulverization is to make something disappear. That's to pulverize. Pulverize is to make something disappear, not pulverization. To impoverish somebody. Impoverishment. That is the philosophy of the Fulani. That's what they brought into Nigeria. So don't you know that? If they give you 24 hours electricity, which they can, all those girls they are taking to Dubai will not be cheap anymore because they'll have their own jobs, they'll have their own cars, they'll have their own businesses, they'll have their own mansion. That time you have to start buying flour and chocolate and behaving very well. No, that's the difference. Abroad, when you want to talk to a woman, you have to buy chocolate. You first start by begging. Can we eat together? That's why you may wait for 2 or 3 months to get reply. Then after that, you start to buy chocolate. You will know every brand of chocolate. You may buy one. You say, I don't want the one with milk inside it. I want original chocolate, the dark one that is 99% cocoa. You guys start looking for that one as well. Then after that one, you go into the business of buying flour. By the time you finish buying flour and chocolate and going out for dinner, you will know that kaki and leather are not the same. They don't want to go through that process in Africa. So what do? They impoverish everybody. They make the women desperate, looking for somebody to do their hair for them, to buy lipstick, to buy ordinary sanitary towel. Some of them don't have. Then now that makes them very cheap. Now do you see why they're doing it? Why is it? Why do you think they stopped you from They closed all industries were there before. You see, let me tell you, there is something people don't understand about Nigeria and people ruling you. I feel sorry for you people, honestly, because you are not educated. I'm sorry to say. You people are not educated. Nigerians don't know the meaning of education. Do you know there were factories before in Aba making glass? Today, imported from China. There's a glass factory in Aba. Do you know there is a textile mill in Aba where they weave cloth? Do you know that in Aba they used to make soap and detergent? Today, imported from China. Somebody sat down in Lagos as a government minister and head of state and destroyed all these businesses. The same person is telling you about one Nigeria. I want you took me out of my job that I was doing. That was the reason why PZ, Patterson Sokonis in Abade left. That was the reason why Lever Brothers left. That is the reason why Leventis left. Some of you may remember Leonard Shoes in Aba, even in Omaha. You may remember Bata Shoes in Aba, even in Omaha. In Omaha, we had ceramics. We had Golden Guinea. Uncles were working there. Aunties were working there. Economy was very good. Nobody was complaining. Nobody was begging. All of a sudden, one single day, one idiot from Abuja and Lagos decided, let's make their life difficult. Ceramics was shut down. Golden Guinea Omaha shut down. Olon Lampam plantation shut down. A glass factory in Aba is no longer working. And you know, let me tell you how evil they are. They come back and say, all these unemployed youths. But where the youths are supposed to be working, you as a greedy, evil, wicked politician, you shut it down. Now, after graduation, where do you want them to work? Because it's common sense. Some of you don't know that Michelin was in Lagos. They used to make tire in Lagos. Michelin was in Lagos. You don't know that? Imagine that these Fulani, Janjaweed, primitive people had the mindset to say, let's grow the economy. By now, there will be no banditry because people will go to work. By the time you finish work, you get home and your wife or your girlfriend will handle you very well. You will not have any time. You'll be thinking about the alarm waking you up the next day to go to work. Do you understand? All of these things I'm saying is not rocket science. It's simple common sense. Do you know the white man has it, black people don't? Those that do in the black world are very, very few, insignificant few. As somebody said, these are blood-sucking fools. You got a politician. Our senator from he spoke on the floor of the house. You see that wretched girl at Channels TV. That stupid girl. I don't know what they call that idiot. Trying to mimic a white accent. I don't know what her name is. The one that interviewed Senator Baribe the other day. They see all these things. Ask the minister, please, minister, the largest textile mill in the whole of Africa, with the exception of South Africa, was in Kaduna. Kaduna, the largest textile mill. It is shut down. There is a car company called Leyland Dav. Iveco, IVEC, I think it's an Italian company. They used to assemble their cars. Do you know there was a time, this thing now that Emerson is doing, do you know there was a time that Volkswagen from Germany was assembling their cars in Nigeria? Do you know that Porsche was assembling their cars in Nigeria? I don't know if you're aware of it. No, some of you are too young. You don't know. Then, was anybody complaining of hunger? Was anybody complaining? In those days, all you need to do to be able to, you don't need to buy any bone straight hair. All you need to do is to write a very good letter to somebody you like, and they'll respond. You don't need money to do anything. Money for what? Everybody's feeling very well. These idiots, they never liked it. They don't like it one bit. They want to control you. How Fulani controls you is by making all of you poor. By making you poor, you start to eat each other, to grovel. Even when you're hungry, you start looking for something to eat immediately. That was why they broke NSAS, the first protest and the second one, because all of you are hungry. They made it so. Once a black person is hungry, you can control them anyhow you like. They go to China, they borrow money, they buy Chinese products. Even I'm not saying don't buy Chinese product because China has the grace already. That's how God blessed them. But the little things you can make in your village, just make them. They won't allow you to. Somebody, we were in England, somebody said, I'm going home to build a factory. I said to him, good luck. He came back one day and said, do you know that all those machinery, they're still at Apapa Wharf, and now they are rotting away. I can no longer use them. These are the demons you have as your politicians. These are evil people. Evil beyond evil. You don't know how much they hate you. We speaking this way, we are the ones that love you because we want you to change. You don't know how much they hate you. Remember how they used to rejoice and enjoy before. Yoruba is fighting Igbo. Oduduwa is fighting Biafra. They love it. They are fighting themselves. Fulani will be enjoying. Today it has turned. Because there is three elements that God decreed that man cannot live without. What I mean by man is also women. You see, food, shelter, and clothing. These are essential needs that every human being will always aspire to have. Do you know what happened to people in the zoo and by extension all across Africa? They know for you to get food, shelter, and clothing, you need money. For you to get money, you need work. And all your focus, all your life is going to be how to provide for yourself and your family these three essential elements of, let's say, ingredients of life. But in Nigeria, you don't have it. You know, sometimes I ask myself, do you see somebody who's pushing truck or pushing wheelbarrow or a graduate driving keke napep? Some of you have PhD and you're driving keke napep. Some of you are riding Okada to make a living. Are you going to be able to build a house by driving keke napep? Maybe you mold one block a year. And if your child were to grow up and to start driving, you will need to get to the 10th generation in the next maybe 500 years or 500 something years for you to be able to build a house. That time you're long gone. And those after you are long gone too. Now what I want to say to you is that what they're doing in the zoo is deliberate. And what IPOB is doing, what we in the Biafra movement is doing is to set all of you free. You may not like the approach. You may not like the style, but it is the truth that we are preaching here, and we will continue to preach it. That is why you have high levels of illiteracy, that all of them from Atiku to the dead Buhari to all of them, their children schooled abroad to Saraki, all of them, their children went abroad to study. But they neglected their mates. Their age mates gave birth to bandits that you have today. The murderers and the killers and the terrorists and the rapists you have. Do you see how it's called the irony of life? And that is why we must be free. They see illiteracy, ignorance, and chronic poverty as a tool with which to control the population and manipulate them. That is why Roger Socrates was able to rent his own thugs and who opposed them are his own thugs. These are hungry people, hungry youths. They have to feed and eat. Why do you think have thuggery and cults and all this rubbish? People are idle, they're not doing anything. And as they say, an idle man is an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Isn't it? You know, we are one of the people that when I read a book, I take something from the book. And I practicalize it. But some of you read just for reading's sake, if at all you do. Thank goodness that today, northern so-called minorities, they're not minorities, but anyway, northern minorities are waking up. Hausa people, the Habe Hausas are waking up as well. They own the land of the north. Northern Nigeria today is the land of Habe Hausa people. Not Fulani. Not Fulani, never. Can never ever be. And Hausa people must rise up to take their land back. It may seem impossible, but believe you me, by the time we are rising up everywhere, these murderers and killers and rapists from the vulture-infested foothills of Jalon will head back from whence they came. You must understand this. How is it that 200 million people cannot effect a change against an oppressive gang of people, 2,000 lunatics, calling themselves politicians? Are they up to 2,000? No, they're not. and their backup. Let's give them credit. Let's round it up to 20,000 people. 20,000 people oppressing 200 million people. Reminds me of how white people came into Africa with only 20 men and conquered all of us. Look at where we are today. And we allow these 20,000 people every blessed day to be ruining our lives. Why do you think that politicians own newspapers in the zoo? Name one independent publisher you have in Nigeria. They are all financed by politicians because they want to keep you locked down in your ignorance and your perpetual cycle of poverty and deprivation. It's time for these 200 million people to rise against the wicked 20,000. Wicked and evil. These are people at home. They are evil people. Evil. Lunatics. And the funniest thing is, with the help of Britain, they dominate the political space. Ask yourself this question repeatedly until it sinks into your black skull. Ask, why is it that 200 million people are so docile and imbecilic? That 20,000 telling you when to the structure, when not to the structure. Who told you that? A republic means a nation run according to the will or dictates of the public, of the people. That is some of you don't even know of republic. Anyway, you have His Royal Highness in a republic. Oh God, what a contradiction. I am happy that today our own intellectuals are now beginning to see the light, of course. Before they were in darkness, they are now in the light. As we have always said to you, we in IPOB, we are the children of light. We represent light in here. Light. Now people are coming from darkness into the light. And why am I saying this? The rate at which Efulefus are repenting these days, so I see them, some of them on social media, some of them are asking me for forgiveness. I'm just happy. You know what they say, when one person repents, there is joy in heaven. All I have inside me is joy that people have now seen that thing that we saw many years ago. The rate at which they are repenting these days, some of them people send me their write-ups and I'm saying no. They say no, it's him. That's intellectual. He has now converted. He now has reason. Or should I say reasoning capacity? The rate at which they are embracing the ideology of IPOB, you will think that rapture is about to happen. Or that maybe that Jesus Christ has landed somewhere and making his way to the zoo called Nigeria. And following behind him is Prophet Muhammad. At the rate at which people are these days converting. We have succeeded in resetting the minds and the brain of your average Nigerian. Everybody, go to the TV and the write-ups, everybody now speaks like IPOB. Everybody, everything they're saying is now what IPOB used to say. This very indigenous people of Biafra. This noble family that never capitulated. They stayed strong, immense. Despite the slaughter after slaughter, they remained. That is why for me, it may sound a bit incestuous, but for me, the only people that I have regard and respect for is IPOB, to be honest with you. The only people I have regard for is IPOB, nobody else. When other people were falling by the wayside, IPOB held on tenaciously and doggedly to this very ideology. That separation is the best solution. People are now beginning to reason properly. And above all, they have now acquired the courage to speak out, and I welcome it. Somebody wrote a very compelling, a former intellectual, he wrote a very compelling article. I couldn't have written it myself. I couldn't have a very good argument, and I want to use it to drive home. Hey, 2 hours are enough now, but I want to preach the gospel of heaven. Because you will see it happening. Gospel of heaven, that's what I preach. You, as of course, most of a very handful of you As black people, you will always find a reason to be black in terms of your stupidity. But here, I don't have time for such. This very former intellectual wrote, United Kingdom, listen carefully please, you Nigerian. I want to make an average Nigerian appear as stupid as he or she is. I want to use this article written by a former slave and intellectual before castigating IPOB. He has repented, and I want to read for you what he wrote. To tell you that, as I always said, in the end, we always win. It doesn't matter what you do. We will wear you out in the end. If you see Hope Osaduma, what happened to him? In the end, we win. Always we win. Now, listen. United Kingdom, the people that created you, you Nigerians, your creator, God did not create you. Stop. Every Nigerian should stop saying God is my creator. God did not create you. I can tell you who created you. And at the precise moment when she created you, I will say she, in this case, Flora Shaw. God did not create any Nigerian. The man that created you and the woman, they are both dead. That is why the zoo will die. United Kingdom was formed by the people of United Kingdom, not a foreigner. This intellectual rights. But the same United Kingdom will not allow we black Africans to freely determine our own political future. Are you listening very carefully? Britain was formed by Scotland and England coming together in a meeting, in a sovereign national conference. Let's use that term. In a confab, they came together in a confab. And Scotland and England decided we are now going to be one under these terms. Some of you don't understand the United Kingdom because you call it London, so I forgive your ignorance. Do you know that in Scotland, United Kingdom, which is part of the UK, that they have entirely different judicial system? The Scottish court is called the Scottish Court of Sessions. In England, it's called the High Court, or Appeal Court. In Scotland, they have sheriff till tomorrow morning. In England, you have chief constable. Different policing, different legislature. Scotland, they have their own flag. England have their own flag. Wales, they have their own flag. Northern Ireland, they have their own flag. Everybody is on their own. Even the education system is not the same thing. In Scotland, people still go to university for free. In England, you go with a loan. All these things are there. But do you know what I find astonishing? The same United Kingdom will not allow you to have the same thing that they have. Now, ask yourself this question. Why is it that they don't want you to have what they have? Okay, to go. Now you understand it. Now you understand it. Black people. Black people, when will you receive sense? This UG, black. When will you receive? Britain is against restructuring. Britain presided over, or should I say superintended, the slaughter of 5 million people because they don't want you to have what they have. Ojukwu went to Aburi to go and negotiate confederation. Regionalism is something you have in England. The British High Commissioner then in Lagos told the Fulani people to say no. The records are there. Ojukwu never went to Aburi to go and secede. Ojukwu went to Aburi to go and get what you're fighting for now was what Ojukwu was fighting for in 1967, but none of you knew. They used their propaganda BBC to deceive all of you. If you meet an average, illiterate, useless Nigerian, he will tell you, Ojukwu went to war, Ojukwu went to war, Ojukwu went to secession, seceded. That is why I said that, anyway, by force, they will receive sense. Intellectuals everywhere, black people, they eat their own flesh. You eat your own flesh. But when you see a white man, you jump up and you stand and you salute him immediately. That is why a vagrant, a street, a homeless white man can come to Africa and become a manager in a top company. You have no regard for who you are. But we are IPOB, and we have regard for who we are. Britain, they have restructuring. Scotland is on their own. Britain, why can't I have what you have? They say no, because we're a nigger. We created you. How can they are playing God? We created Nigeria. Every Nigerian is a British product. Some of you are like a factory product to them. You're like a factory product. And the worst factory product you can ever have is the one that doesn't know that he or she is a factory product. I'm very sad indeed. Britain, give us what you have. Common restructuring Britain will not allow us to have. This is what is called total control. They own you. Fulani are doing what they because Britain is behind them. Fulani can kill all of you. No, yeah, Britain will say it's farmer header clash. Farmer header clash. Farmer header clash. They are raping your mother. Fulani Janjaweed is on top of your mother with AK-47, raping her in front of you. You are calling the British High Commissioner. Come on, it's farmer header clash. You are farmer header clashing on top of a woman. Is that farmer header clash? Is that farmer header clash? I ask of you. Black Africans, even the United Kingdom, have a better political prospect than those in Africa. This is the reality that we black people have failed to confront. A black person in England, in the UK, has a better political future than a black person in his father's compound in Africa somewhere. The worst thing to ever happen to Nigeria is the primitive feudal mindset of the Fulani Janjaweed, aided and abetted by British neocolonialists. I do not honestly think that any African country, honestly speaking, qualifies to be a member of the UN. What we have in Africa are artificially created political enclaves under the domination of their colonial masters. It is called neocolonialism. The brain of a black person is designed to engineer hardship. Why do you think they shut down all the factories? Why do you think there is no electricity? Because they want to make you poor. English, Scottish, Welsh, they came together in 1707 to form a union. They decided to call their new formed union Union Kingdom. The union was between the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of Scotland. The Kingdom of Ireland joined them in 1801. The union became the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Even they respect Ireland, united based on common goals and interests. And they had a treaty. Where is the treaty of Nigeria that bound Nigeria to? Where is the treaty that says that a Yoruba man must be in a country with Fulani man? Where is the treaty that says a Gwari man must be in the same country with a Nupe man? Where is the treaty? Where is it? None. A white man is your treaty. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. England, they have their own flag. Everybody, anyway, and they have a Union Jack. Go and look at the Union Jack, the United Kingdom flag, the British flag. You will see that every nation is there in that flag. They don't want us to have the same thing. Do you know that even their passports are different, their currencies are... Do you know that in Scotland, the pound in Scotland is issued by the Royal Bank of Scotland or by Bank of Scotland? It is different from the one issued by the Bank of England. Are you people aware? But I keep asking myself, why is it that Britain, you have all these things? You know, oh, okay, I'm sorry. You created us. I'm sorry. We don't have any say. Sorry, sir. Sorry. Sorry, colonial master. I spoke out of turn. What has one Nigeria done for you? One Nigeria only succeeded in giving you poverty, in giving you nepotism, bloodshed, discrimination, tribalism, just name it. At no time in the history of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria did these zoo animals called Nigerians ever sit down to discuss why they need to be together. All they do is to preach peace and unity without the ingredients of peace and unity. You come to my land and you kill me, and you're asking me to be peaceful. How is that possible? And now, please, there is something that I want us to listen to very carefully. I want us to listen to this very, very carefully, please, because I want to play this if it will let me. If at all it would let me, I would like to play it. I would like to play it because it is very, very important that I play this very evening. I need to play it. Our people need to understand what is happening, what is going on. I want to play it. I do. Seriously, I want to play it. And as soon as I get it, it was an interview on channel television. And I want you to listen to the final detail of that very conversation. It is very, very important. The final details of that conversation is key for people to understand what I'm talking about. Now listen, it's from channel television. I want you to listen to this very interview very, very carefully, please. Very, very carefully. Please listen.
In recent times, we've also seen even Fulani ethnic groupings suffer some of this violence. In Sokoto State, for instance, the people who were attacked with Fulani in Zamfara State.
This girl is defending at Channels TV. She is defending Fulani Janjaweedism. Because they give her money. Maybe one of them have taken her to Dubai to do shopping. I think she bought a new blouse. I've not seen her before because her wardrobe is very poor. She bought a new blouse now and changed her glasses. So whoever took her to Dubai, she needs to defend the person's interest. That's what she's doing. Let us listen to what the girl has to say. This is the main anchor on whatever her name is, on Channels TV. One of those doing the bidding of Fulani Janjaweed. Listen.
For instance, the people who were also attacked, just a moment, the people who were attacked were also Fulanis. In Kebbi State, where we also understand that there is a vibrant farmer Fulani population, they have also suffered some violence from these so-called herdsmen. So can we really say it's about an ethnic group? Or is it, something that we're yet to really put a finger on?
To be honest with you,
listen,
I use the word Fulani as a generic term. We have armed militias, many of them from foreign lands. When you speak Hausa, and I speak Hausa like a native, I speak it better than my maternal language.
This is my life here.
Okay? And when somebody opens their mouth, you know precisely what kind of Hausa they have. Whether it is Hausan Kano, Hausan Zaria, Hausan Zazzau, Hausan Katsina, Hausan Sokoto. And when you know Hausan Niger, Hausan Mali, you know it. Many of these people are foreigners. We call them Fulanis because that is what they call themselves. And but I think it is more than just Fulanis. But I think if I may respectfully disagree with you, the killings in Zamfara ethnic, it is actually Fulanis killing normal Habbe Hausa people, indigenous Hausa people.
Did you hear that? Fulani are killing indigenous Habbe Hausa people. This is from Dr. Mylas here. He speaks Hausa more than most Hausa people. Are you listening? Do you want the same thing to happen to you? Hausa gave them everything. Gave them Gobert. Gave them all their cities. Killed their kings for them. Fulani is not happy. Even after nearly 200 years, Fulani is still killing. They are killing Hausa today. They have houses. The funny thing is that they convinced these Hausas to help them to kill their kings. And the idiots agreed. Today they're killing them. In other words, who pulls on them? And those of you working for the Janjaweed, it doesn't matter what you do. In the end, they will kill you. Let us listen to this very erudite, intelligent, composed, polished, and intelligent man speaking. I am drawn to intelligence. When I see people who are genuinely intelligent, I'm drawn to them. Listen to the points the man is making. Hausa is in trouble. Hausa Fulani. They are saying, let's unite. Hausa Fulani. They are killing Hausa. Fulani is killing Hausa. And then let's unite. It's something they want to do to you. Listen, please. Let us learn from those that know.
Call them Fulanis because that is what they call themselves. But I think this is more than just Fulani. But I think if I may respectfully disagree with you, the killings in Zamfara ethnic, it is actually Fulanis killing normal Habbe Hausa people, indigenous Hausa people. And Birningwari, majority of them are Muslims, but they are Bagi people. Birningwari, the city of the Bagi.
In Sokoto?
In Sokoto, it is mostly the farmers that are being attacked.
In Kebbi?
Kebbi, the same thing.
The farmers who are sometimes, and most times, Fulani as well.
Have you ever come across a Fulani farmer? I think you're making this up, Mope. There's no such thing as a Fulani farmer. There's no such thing in the geomorphology of rural society.
There are Fulani people who are settled. There are Fulani people who own land in this country, aren't there?
There are extremely few, and we don't really... You can call them Fulanis, but Fulani who have lost their language and so on and so forth, we hardly even refer to them as Fulani.
He even knows the nomenclature. Fulani Ngiwa, or whatever, I don't know. This man is very bright. Listen to him, please.
We hardly ever refer to them as Fulani. The real Fulanis we talk about are the pastoralists. There are settled Fulanis, of course, but many of them are clerics, Islamic clerics, they are teachers, they are scholars, and they are aristocracy, by the way. They are the aristocracy. So those of them who are farmers are an extremely small population. Extremely small population.
But they exist.
Trust me,
They exist nonetheless.
They do exist.
This is from research done by other journalists. I mean, I haven't had the privilege of doing the research myself.
Yes.
But I have read from other journalists who have. They have been to those places and they can identify Fulani population who are farmers and have also faced this crisis of having to deal with this so-called herdsmen.
But we're talking in basic general terms. What's the percentage of those people that are actually farmers? I don't dispute. Just like, in fact, there are Birom people, there are chief people who actually earn cattle. And I wouldn't, for that purpose, therefore, say that Middle Belt peoples are also pastoralists and so on and so forth. I mean, we should,
It's called demolishing a half-baked journalist. Demolition. Complete demolition. The fact that, what's it called? I know Umahi has about 3,000 heads of cattle. Does it mean that Igbo people of Igbo, they are pastoralists? She's trying to justify the killing of human beings by saying that the Fulani should be excused. They are also, that's a stupid argument. We are also suffering. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Listen.
Very precise, I think, in the social categorization of these people. Yes, indeed, there's nothing wrong. There would be some small percentage of Fulanis who own farms. And then there wouldn't be anything wrong with that. And that is not the issue. The issue is the scale and the genocidal level of ethnic cleansing that is going on in the Middle Belt.
So this has come up again because of this
in the Middle Belt.
Yes.
I said genocidal killings going on in the Middle Belt. The same Middle Belt that the Fulani is convinced to join hands with them to fight Biafra. That is why when I pray, I say, I can sing about let that hand they used to feed others poison. May they feed from it as well. And may they too be poisoned. The same Middle Belt, they convince Igbo man is your problem. Biafra is your problem. That is what Fulani does. Every time two of you will be fighting, they'll be busy advancing their agenda. Are you hearing it now? The Hausa gave them land, accommodated them. Today, Hausa people are being killed. During the war, they said to Middle Belt, Igbo man is your problem. Whenever you see them, kill them. They helped these people from the Middle Belt. They helped to kill Igbo people. Today, they themselves are being killed. What goes around, as they say. Listen.
Absolutely.
Which some people say which tends to come up every electoral cycle. The moment we're getting closer to an elections, we hear calls for restructuring and we begin to get much louder. We also seem to see some violence on the increase. Do you think they are connected?
No, they are not connected. You see, Maope, the call for restructuring has been going on for a long time. And I can tell you, in all sincerity, that I myself was quite skeptical about it at the very beginning.
He was a skeptic.
Some of us are real Nigerian patriots. We love Fulanis. We love Muslims. They are our people. We have no issue with that. The issue we have is with this ethnic cleansing that is going on. All men and women of conscience must reject it. We must draw a red line beyond which we will not longer accept it. And this nonsense has got to stop now. We reject it in total. And the call for restructuring is just right, because if this thing is going on with such a warped federal structure that we have, then it is better to have a proper federal system so that all the ethnic so-called minorities, and the Middle Belt are not minorities, because we've done some statistics, they're up to 40 million people. They're one of the largest groups in this country, as a group. Let these people have the right to choose through a referendum which region they want to belong to.
Did you hear that? Why I said, if you are in IPOB, you must pat yourself on the back. You are formidable. He used the word referendum. So the Middle Belt, what they're angling for now is a referendum to determine if they want to be with the Fulani-controlled Janjaweed core north, by which I mean the Sharia north or not. Who brought referendum into the debate? Political debate and discourse in the zoo. It is IPOB. Are you listening to it? That is a point I want to make reference to. And you must be very patient and listen to it. You must be present and listen to what is happening, because this Fulani journalist or Fulanized journalist, you opened her mouth to say what I've always wanted them to say. Basically, she hanged herself. Listen carefully.
So people that want to come together, that believe in the secular order of the state, that believe in humanity, that believe in social justice, can come together. Those who want to introduce the Wahhabi ideology from Saudi Arabia are free to do so, chopping people's heads and chopping their arms. That should be their goddamn business. But people who want to live in a civilized community should be free to come together in their own region, under their own government and their own laws.
It's very interesting you use the word civilized. And some people will say they take exception to that, because for them, Sharia is civilization, and they don't see anything wrong with it. Some countries have practiced this successfully.
I've told of Wahhabi ideology from Saudi Arabia. That is barbaric and totally...
With due respect, it is. They're allowed to choose whatever.
It is very barbaric. They have no rights with women.
But you cannot condemn what they have chosen. It is.
You cannot condemn what they have chosen. Are you listening? This woman is saying you cannot condemn what they have chosen. Why don't you allow us as well to choose if we want to live that way or not? She's from Channels Television. That's how they hang themselves. And she's an intellectual. Do you see the way they behave? Do you see the way they are? They know that referendum is the way to go. If the Fulani can choose to behave, to live with Wahhabi tendencies, that is their business. Also, allow me to live in the land of Biafra the way I want to live. And they're saying no. That is why you have Fulani in your bushes. That's why you have the Janjaweed in your forest. They're raping your mothers, abducting your sisters, killing your grandparents. And there is nothing you can do about it, because you are in one damnable zoological republic. The more you call yourself a Nigerian, the more you're setting up yourself for destruction. If in doubt, go and ask the Habe Hausas. They are being killed today. If you're in doubt, go and ask those in the Middle Belt, the Wadi people that are being killed today. Why? Because they allowed them to come in. So, all of you like Hope Uzadimma. Okay, we shall see. We shall see. That is why Sheikh Gumi can come out to brazenly and shamelessly justify the killing and raping of women and children by his own people, the bandit sheikh. Have you seen the video of those, I call them fools in the army, Christian fools in the army praying in Sambisa forest? The same Sheikh Gumi that they are fighting for. They are in Sambisa, they are Christians from the south, and Middle Belt, fighting a war to keep Sheikh Gumi safe with his family. The same Sheikh Gumi turned around and said that and told bandits who are killing people and kidnapping school children, oh, don't worry, those killing you are Christians in the army. One Nigeria. Nobody has arrested him. The man you heard his voice a few minutes ago, my Lafia, they invited him to come to DSS for questioning. Sheikh Gumi opened, he's a Nigerian, no? He's a revered, the learned Sheikh. People are so daft because Yoruba newspaper said you should call him, he's revered, that's why you're calling him, a revered Sheikh. He said that those killing them are Christians and soldiers from the south. A sheikh in the zoo, negotiating for money so when they give money to these bandits, he will share with them. And he's a one Nigerian. He's an intellectual, so to speak. Because I call him a learned sheikh. A black man doing sheikh in Africa. Not in Saudi Arabia, not in the UAE, not in the Arabian Peninsula. He's doing sheikh in Guzo or in Kotangora. Mad people everywhere. Ndiara, Jupiter Benine. Sheikh Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi is angry that Nigerian soldiers of Christian, should I say, of Christian lineage, so to speak, or leaning, are killing bandits. Killing Boko Haram, not bandits. Nobody can touch bandits. He's not happy about it. Same as the late dead Buhari. And you are in one country with them. These are your fellow Nigerians. All of you Nigerian animals, these are your fellow Nigerians, yeah? My fellow Nigerians, you have seen them. Bandits should be pampered. Oh my goodness. My goodness. They messed you people up, didn't they? The North got together with Britain. They constructed a document that handed power in perpetuity to the Fulani. And that's it. All the Hausas get from it is by an appendage to attach their name to Fulani. The only thing they gain is answering in the past to Hausa Fulani. They are suffering today. They're killing them too. And we have reason enough to say enough is enough. And they're saying no to it. And that is why they have failed and will continue to fail. Even today, do you know Gbagi people in Abuja, that was that own Abuja? When we said to them that the army is helping the terrorists to take over people's land, some of you did not listen. Don't push us to violence for those who are complaining. If you are not violent, I'm saying in the word, so the world can hear me. If you are not violent, Fulani terrorists will use violence to rape your mother, cut up your father, abduct your sisters, and take over your land. If you call self-defense violence, that is your business. That is your very limited and idiotic understanding of what it's all about. They have come. This is not Biafran, so these are Gbagi people from Abuja. You call Gwari. Don't push us to violence. Federal Capital Territory communities won Nigerian army over land. Nigerian army will come, use their uniform, use the equipment they got from Britain, from USA, from Germany, meant to fight Boko Haram, to be grabbing land for terrorists. Nigerian army. That's what they want to do in Olo. Because we drove Fulanis away from Olo, they came in to reinstate them in our land. And of course we said no. I don't know how else you want these things explained to you. I don't know how else you want to understand this. What we are saying is as clear as daylight. As clear as daylight, you can see it very clearly. But some of you have chosen to ignore, not some of you, I think everybody now realize that there is no way ahead unless the IPOB way, referendum and disintegration. Then people can decide where they wish to belong. They're taking land from Gwari people. They claim it's the North. You know all that myth about North, have we not shattered it? Shatter is gone. All that North is gone, rubbish. Now everybody to your tent, oh Israel, needs now Fulani. No more North. Yeah, you telling me that the North is one that Gwari people are complaining that they are using army van, army uniform to take land from people to give to terrorists from Senegal, from Mali, from Niger. In your so-called one Nigeria, and you're a Nigerian, and you're proud to be a Nigerian. People with such mindset, we are those that allowed the white man to come in to take over our land. And have you all read the report? Have you all read it? Are people tried anyway? A plane crashed in Abuja. The U.S. ambassador wrote a goodwill message to Nigeria. That same ambassador is there, and the army is attacking Olo. She never said anything. UK the same thing. Because they know who we are. More than we do ourselves. They know who we are. They don't want Biafra to come. They represent darkness. They want darkness to prevail. They want you to be unemployed. They want our women to be going about and being useless by these idiots. They want you to be riding Okada after having your PhD. The British High Commissioner and the USA Ambassador, that is all they do. They want you to continue to suffer. They give them money from the zoo. They bribe them. Who says a white person doesn't take bribe? They take bribe even more than black people. US Ambassador taking money from Nigeria not to speak the truth. You're commiserating with them over the death of murderers who died in a plane crash, and many more will die. Come and bomb Bolu again. One of your planes will also go down. All of you will die. You have not learned anything yet. Those that confronted IPOB, all of them, from Buhari to the last one, where are they today? To Junaid Buhari, they're all dead. You confront this great family, you will die in the process of it. U.S. ambassador is a woman. And in life, I used to think that women are more, they have more empathy. They are like mothers, and they feel they have that motherly, compassionate feeling for the suffering of humanity. They sent a British High Commissioner who is a woman, a U.S. ambassador who is a woman, and these two people are just there. Even under their watch, the slaughter and killing of the innocent has tripled. Plane crash. So you want to commiserate, so your money will keep flowing. The U.S. ambassador, I'm talking to you, so your money will keep coming. A white person who is compromised. You come to Africa, wretched poor Africa. You take bribe from a very corrupt government in order to sweep human rights abuses under the carpet. And you are an ambassador. Is that your job? Is that what you can? They posted you to Nigeria to be collecting money and watching people being slaughtered by terrorists? Let me hear any of you again talk nonsense about Boko Haram or say we are going to provide support to help fight Boko Haram. Then she never said anything when people bomb fighter jet and the helicopter gunships came to Olo. They know where the bandits are in the north. They never went to the bandits in the north. They are in Olo killing innocent people. And you as an ambassador, you said nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you are an ambassador. An ambassador. There is heavy gunshot and explosion in Maiduguri. Hey! Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Anybody, if you're a Biafra, you're in the north, if you die there, you are a necessary casualty in this effort. Because only an idiot will be there. The Fulanis are killing Hausa, they are so-called Hausa Fulani. How about you? Stay in the north. They said it's a breaking news coming out now. Odum Nkechineke is writing on Facebook the explosions and gunshots in Maiduguri now. People are revolting everywhere. In office. I told you, you see Somalia? Some of you will be begging for visa to go to Somalia. You beg for visa. And so Somalia will say no. That's how evil, that's how bad Nigeria will become. How many years ago did I warn you? You thought it was a joke. People don't know what. I thought if you know what is good for you, just quietly give me Biafra, let me go. If you keep saying no, God, the God I serve will destroy all of you will be destroyed, all of you. Is it not happening before your eyes? Mad people everywhere. Olu Army confirms airstrikes. Arrest 20 IPOB members. They just go to houses and they pick up people. They say, no IPOB family member was arrested. There is something evil. There is something satanic about a black person. You just see somebody walking on the street, as they did in Aba today. You just start doing from jumping them and arresting them for no reason. because you were humiliated. I thought you said you had raided their camp and they gave money to them. You know, brown envelope journalism in the zoo, no investigation. They wrote their usual junk. Army said, where is the army in the bush? Where? Let army go and take pictures inside the bush, Let them go and do a video inside the bush. The place they claim they have retaken from ESN. Go and do video from that place. Let us see you. You go there, they will pick your flesh in pieces and put it in a bag. Liars and deceivers. The army came out today to confirm that they carried out airstrikes in Olo. Army confirms airstrikes in Olo. But BBC, people think that it is, I wake up one day and I hate somebody. No. You have to be a child of Lucifer. But some of you are black, so you don't reason very well. So I will forgive some of you. Some of you that still follow BBC, I forgive you out of your ignorance and your stupidity. BBC was instituted to make you amenable to this wave of Fulani conquest coming your way. BBC can never serve you. BBC can never serve you, not in 1 trillion years. Never, ever, ever. It can never, ever happen. They hate you with a passion. They despise you. They don't like Biafra. The reason why they do not like Biafra is because they know that Biafra is the light of the world. That is the reason why they did everything possible to cover their murderous tracks after the war. They know what they are doing. BBC is not a news organization. It is a propaganda machinery that serves neo-colonialist interest, or should I say neo-colonial interest in Igbo land. Their job is to prepare you for the takeover and for the rape of your daughters and your mothers. They are evil. BBC claim that they are objective and credible news outlet. People on the ground, we circulated videos everywhere of the army shooting from a helicopter gunship. In Olo, somebody was speaking Igbo, saying, look how they have come, look at them shooting. Children were crying. A news organization of the size and stature of BBC came out to say that nothing like that ever happened. Let us say it is a mistake. Why have they not retracted this very lie? Until today, now the army came out to say we struck in Olo. And tomorrow now, some of you will go to BBC. Oh, dear me. And on that note, of course, we have come to the end of this, I believe, electrifying lecture today. As I said to you, every 2 days we'll be live on air, unless there is an intervening circumstance that may prevent that from happening. But as always, for those who do not know, we have nothing else except Biafra. This pursuit of freedom. That is why to us, in this very noble family, the greatest family on the face of this very IPOB that changed the brain of 200 million people. Biafra to us is a religion. Biafra is, therefore, our religion. Here on radio, Biafra is where we worship because Elohim is our God. From me, from here, it is good evening.